So here's what President Zelensky told the German parliament this morning, accusing them of caring more about their economy than securing peace in Europe.
We asked you about preventive sanctions. We urged Europe to many countries. We urged you. So such sanctions that the enemy felt that you are a force, but you delayed. We understood that you wanted to support your economy. And so where is your leadership? Where is your force? Why is the country beyond the Atlantic closer to us than you? There's a wall. The former U.S. President Ronald Reagan said this in Berlin. Break down this wall. And I want to say to you, Chancellor Scholz, break down this wall. Give Germany leadership.
Wow. Jonathan Lemire, a little bit less aggressive with President Biden in the speech to lawmakers yesterday morning. Tell us how Biden responded in kind. What options did he put on the table? He offered a lot. And also, to follow up in the speech to our members of Congress, to the United States, he said to be a leader of peace, to be the leader of the world, you're the leader of peace. And I think it's clear that peace is accomplished in many ways. So what are some of the other options the United States is pursuing, along with the aid that President Biden announced yesterday?
Yeah, a number of things here, Mika. First of all, yes, much tougher there from Zelensky to Berlin. He continues to, when he makes these appeals to every country, dots in local references there about the Berlin Wall. And to be fair, Germany obviously increased defense spending. They've shut down the Nord Stream 2. They have done some, but they have not gone as far as the U.S. They, for instance, have not stopped buying Russian imports of gasoline and oil and other fuel. But in terms of his messaging to the Washington yesterday, it was a lot less tough. It was grateful. And he gave the administration, the Biden administration, some options. He sort of even acknowledged that a no-fly zone remained a non-starter. So he said, well, instead, give us the equipment so we can defend our own skies. This could be an alternative if a no-fly zone is too tough. He repeated his call for these jets as well, which also the U.S. is not willing to send at this point. But President Biden unveiled a rather robust slate of equipment that he will be sending to Ukraine in the coming days, an additional $800 million worth of defense spending, the Javelins, the Stinger missiles, also importantly, some of those Switchblade drones we talked a lot about yesterday that had proven so effective against Russian vehicles. A lot more of them will be heading as well. And the Biden team, they weren't surprised by Zelensky's asks. There's an open channel of communication between Kyiv and Washington. They knew this was coming. They were able to prepare to send this package, which is largely what the Ukrainians wanted here. And they are officials I've talked to echo what we were just saying, skeptical also of these Russian overtures for peace, believing even it's a stalling tactic to try to replenish the Russian soldiers that are there. The advance has slowed. They're still bombarding from a distance, but they're potentially getting equipment there for another push coming forward.
So we're going to go to break and keep everybody with us. But Michael Beschloss, I don't feel comfortable going to the break without first addressing what the president said, President Zelensky said to the Germans, because it is important to note, obviously with their history, it would have been impossible a month ago even for them to go beyond 2% of their GDP for military spending. They've agreed to do that. Have they been too dependent on Russian oil? Yes, they have been too dependent on Russian oil, and that's something they recognize and something they've said they're going to move away from. But make no mistake of it, in the coming years, Germany with a stronger military, most likely than even the Russians, they're going to continue to be one of our most important allies. And they've made a dramatic shift over the past 3.5, 4 weeks that we should all recognize.
That's for sure. And Germany, post-World War II Germany, is a great triumph of American democracy, working with at least some of our allies. You know, Joe, you wrote a great book about Truman and Stalin in the late 1940s, and part of that story was how we Americans were a force in helping Germany to become a democracy. At the time, Dwight Eisenhower, as a general, said the test of whether our aims in World War II in Europe had succeeded will be 50 years from now, he said in 1945. Is Germany a democracy then? If it is, then we have finally prevailed in winning World War II. We have. And the amazing thing is that we would all now feel not only comfortable but eager for getting the Germans militarily involved. It shows how confident we are in German democracy. And some people thought that Zelensky was almost borderline rude given the fact that the Germans had gone further than they had before. But that's what his role is. You know, Winston Churchill, as you well know, was not only borderline rude, he was sometimes totally rude in 1941, pushing other Western democracies to give military help to Britain, saying on radio, give us the tools and we will finish the job.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.